Good morning, Facebook fam. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Hope all is well with each of you. They say they are building an audience for me. That's always interesting. But as we wait for folks to sign on and get on to um, another Get Me Through Wednesday, don't forget to um, don't forget to go on and subscribe to our YouTube page at Cedric Nelms YouTube page. Hey Maya, good to see you, sis. Don't forget to also go and like our Facebook page, Get Me Through Wednesday. Um, don't forget to also, man, I wanted to share with you guys today two big things that are coming up. Um, my wife is and the church is doing a pre-Mother's Day brunch. We got tickets that are on sale for $35. If you want to bring your mom out, bring someone that you know is a mom, uh, sister, aunt, whatever the case might be. Next Saturday, May 13th, we're doing our pre-Mother's Day brunch. Tickets are $35. We'll be out in Downey, so you can reach out to me or reach out to Sister Karen about that and get your tickets. Hey, Keisha, good to see you. Also, September the 9th, I know we're a little ways out. September the 9th, we're doing a relationship conference. So all my married folks, singles, dating, divorced people, and the folks who are thinking about doing either one of those things, we got a relationship conference coming up for you on September the 9th. Tickets are on sale now. It's the We Are One, communicating your love language. Is what we're going to be dealing with this year. Communicating your love language. Tickets on sale. $25 per person, $50 per couple. So if you want to be a part of that, just reach out to me and we'll hook you up with either one of those. Hey, Dana, good to see you. Brian, my boy, good to see you, bro. As we get into this thing this morning, I do want to just say that we've had an overwhelming month this month. Celebrated my birthday a couple weeks ago. Me and Sister Karen, we came back the other day. I think it was Monday from our vacation. We got a little time to get away and refresh and revive ourselves. We got thrown into the fray of getting kids back to school, getting all the love from our babies because they missed us. So we'll have to take some more days away from them so they can miss us and appreciate us a little bit more. But we got refreshed. One of the things that I thought about while we were gone was taking time to find your voice. And what I mean by that is that I think sometimes we go through life and we never really voice how we feel. I know that I am susceptible to that. I know that I am somebody who practices that because I've discovered over the years that I'm a people pleaser. So a good friend of mine, Pastor Pete, talked about once before about being a people pleaser. And I figured out that I am a people pleaser. I always try to make everybody else happy. I always try to make sure that everybody else is okay. And I think that comes from, being a dad, being a husband, being somebody that's a friend. I always want to make sure everybody else is okay. But in the process of doing that, sometimes you can lose your voice. And so people take you for granted. People will just use you because they know that you will always be there. But what I wanted to share with you today for just a few minutes is find your voice. One of the things that I've learned over the years is the fact that the beautiful thing about being married is that, I know the scriptures say that you'll leave your mother and your father and you'll cleave to your wife and the two will become one and all of that, but you can't lose your voice in that. You still have to keep your voice. You still have to voice who you are and voice what you want. Because if you don't voice what you want, if you don't voice how you feel, if you don't voice how things are going, if you never voice what is going on for you, then people will never know what you're going through. If you never voice what's going on with you, people will never know what you're going through. And sometimes if you don't voice some things, people can't help you. I remember my grandmother used to say, a closed mouth don't get fed. If you don't open your mouth and you say you need some help, then folks are not going to be there to help you. So don't complain when you don't get the help that you need. So it's not that you don't have any friends. It's not that you don't have any family. It's not that people don't care. It's the simple fact that you haven't voiced what are your needs? What do you want? So I want to encourage you today to use your voice. I think it's a beautiful thing, like that show, The Voice, who I don't watch it that much because I'm not really that into it. But though the times that I've seen it, it's always been ironic of how you can find people who are very, very good singers, who are not your Mary J. Bliges, who are not your Beyoncés, who are not some of your new singers out, your Jill Scotts. They're not known like that, but they have powerful voices. And if it were not for that show, they wouldn't have a place to express that, to show that. So I want to encourage somebody today to use your voice. Say what you want. I've reached the age now, and I tell my kids this. I've been telling this for the last couple of weeks or so. I'm 45 years old, and I'm very clear with what I want and what I don't want. And if I don't want it, I'm going to tell you I don't want it. And if I don't want to do it, I'm not going to do it. If I like it, I'm going to keep doing it. And that's because I found my voice. It's not about pleasing people. And I don't mean this to be disrespectful. I really don't care how you feel about Cedric. I only care how Cedric feels about Cedric and how those that are close to me feel about me. And ultimately, I'm here to please God. So I'm always concerned about how God sees me. Okay. And like I said, I don't mean that negatively. It's just that sometimes we can lose our voice in the midst of trying to do for others. And you see it in relationships. Wives or husbands have toiled for years in this marriage, and all of a sudden they reach a point to where they discover that they're unhappy. They're unhappy not so much with the relationship. They're unhappy because somewhere in the midst of the relationship, they lost their voice. They lost who they were. They lost their identity. They lost being heard in the relationship. That's why we're doing this thing in September on communicating your love language. You got to know first what your love language is before you can start loving on somebody else. You can't love somebody else if you don't know who you are. At the same time, then you've got to understand what that other person's love language is. So you got to know what your voice is. You got to know what your voice sounds like. You've got to know who you are. But if you don't know the sound of your own voice, if you don't know what your voice sounds like when you're crying or when you're happy or when you're sad, then you suppress that and then you sit and you wonder why no one ever acknowledges you because no one ever hears you. I'm trying to help somebody today. Sister Martha, I see you. You got to hear and you've got to speak your voice. And you do it in a way that is very respectful. If they do something on the job that you don't care for, voice it. Especially if it pertains to you. If you don't like something in a relationship, voice it. If you don't like something that your children are doing, voice it. And teach your babies how to have a voice. Because see, in this society, if you don't have a voice, you get run over. And yes, I was looking at the program the other night about the LA riots and the 25 years. And I remember where I was. I was a sophomore going to Morehouse College. And we were plugged into the TV. Everybody got out of class and shot to the dorm rooms and to folks' dorms room. And we were surrounded by the TV. We were in the Commons looking at it. And when the verdict came down, we voiced our opinion. Yes, we were young. Yes, we were excitable. Yes, we had a lot of fire. We voiced our opinion on that campus. Between Morehouse, Clark, Spelman, Morris Brown, we voiced our opinion. Never will forget. Some classmates turned over police car, set the police car on fire. We voiced our opinion. There's different ways that you can voice what you want and demand what you want. So yeah, marching is good, but then what do you do after that? I want to give you a voice back, because some people have lost their voice, and some of you are being too quiet, and some of you are being too passive, and some of you are being too soft. Some of you are not realizing that you got to speak, and that means sometimes you also got to realize, hey Cynthia, hey Lisa, sometimes that means that you will lose some friends and some family because you're speaking up. Everybody likes somebody who just goes with the flow. Good morning, Aunt Gertha. They love it when you go with the flow. But what do you want to eat? I don't know, whatever you want to eat. Where do you want to go? Wherever you want to go. Everybody is good with a person that just goes along for the get along. But what about a person who really steps up to the plate and voices what they feel like and what they want? So I want to encourage you today. I want to encourage you today to speak your mind. Now, when I say that, I don't want you to run away from this video and say, well, Pastor said, speak your mind. Do it as my mother tells me all the time. This is in the word. Everything is done decent and in order. But for you that have figured out that you need to speak more and that you need to share some things, voice. Use your voice. God gave you a voice. I think the beautiful thing about the scriptures is, especially in the Old Testament, you see all of the prophets from Jeremiah to Elijah, to all these different prophets in the Old Testament. God was using them as his voice. He wanted them to speak to the people. Jeremiah is known as the weeping prophet because he cried because the people were not listening. But that didn't stop him from speaking. He still spoke. Paul walked around in the New Testament and he got beat. He got abused. He got all these things, different things happened to Paul. Why? Because he was using his voice. So you got to realize sometimes when you use your voice, people are not going to like you, but that's okay. If you speak in the right things and you're voicing yourself and you're sharing it, then at some point you got to realize you got to be okay with that. Everybody ain't going to like you. I use a lot of wisdom from my grandmother, and she was not a PhD. But she used to tell me, she said, they didn't like Jesus Christ, so what do you expect they're going to do with you? So at some point, you got to realize it's okay to use your voice. It's okay to speak. It's okay to have those moments to where you voice how you feel. Don't let anybody run over you today. So for someone today, they need to hear today, people using you and abusing you and running over you is stopping today. May 2nd, it stops. Don't allow someone to use you in a way to wherein they don't respect you for who you are. Your voice matters. As I came back off the trip, I found out that there was another young man that was shot and killed by the police. 15 years old. 15. He's a year younger than my 16-year-old boys. That could have been them. It sickens me. Excuse my language, it ticks me off. Because another black man, another young black boy has been taken from us. And you don't know what that kid's potential was destined to be. So we got to use our voice. Don't stop speaking. Don't stop talking. Don't stop crying out. Don't stop protesting. Don't stop saying what you know is the right thing to do and to say. Because I'm not going to stop. I ask God, allow for my mouth to be the microphone to you, God. You tell me what to say and I'll say it. I ain't going to stop talking. Use your voice. Use your voice. That's all I got for you today. Somebody needs to hear that. That's going to enrich somebody's life. That's going to empower somebody's life. That's going to evangelize to someone today. Use your voice. Because if you don't use it, somebody else is going to miss out on a blessing because you're not speaking. Somebody it needs a blessing, and the blessing is caught up in your mouth. Praise God. It's in your mouth. So if you don't speak it, if you don't use your voice, somebody else ain't going to get blessed. So somebody else's blessing is caught up in your mouth. Do you realize that? You realize how privileged you are? Do you realize how God uses you? The blessing for somebody else is in your mouth. Speak. Use your voice today. Bless you. Hope you have a blessed week. I hope that this Get Me Through Wednesday was beneficial for you. I just got one more thing to ask. Go share it with somebody. Click on that button, share down there. Share that with somebody. Some people need to know that their voice matters. Don't be silent. This is not the season to be quiet. This is the season to speak. Speak it. Speak it over your life. Speak it over your children's life. Speak it over your family's life. Speak it when you walk into the bank. Speak. Use your voice. Speak it over your friends. Speak it over your church family. Speak it over your work environment. Speak. Use your voice. Don't forget to go on to our Facebook page, like us. Okay, like our Get Me Through Wednesday, go to Cedric Nelms YouTube, subscribe to that. Don't forget, we got a pre-Mother's Day brunch coming up. If you want to come to that, I would love to have you in the place. Okay, get with me. We got tickets that's on sale for $35. We got the relationship. We Are One, Communicating Your Love Language, coming up in September. Tickets on sale now for that. $25 per person, $50 per couple. Bring some folks, man. And I know some of my people you go to church, and so it's not a Chosen G thing. God's moving me to do some things for the kingdom. Okay? So come, invite people, tell folks about it, share this thing, let folks know what's going on, okay? Get Me Through Wednesday. Let's get through this day, folks. It's another day that was not promised to us, but we here now. Use your voice. My voice is saying, I love you. God loves you best. I'm Pastor Said, and I'm out.